Did you know that newbie residents always make these kinds of mistakes? In this video, I'm gonna share with you those three common mistakes that honestly you need to know if you are newbie resident here in my country. Let's start. The first common mistake is not learning basic Spanish. You need to understand that when you have that intention to live in another country, maybe before go in that country, you need to start learning basic sentence about that new language. Okay, it's important for you to understand that because why? You need to consider that you're living in another country, in another language, in another culture. Yes, it's important for you to respect that country. But the point here, I understand honestly it's difficult when you're trying to learn a new language. I understand it's difficult when the people criticize your new language because maybe you are not fluent, maybe you made a lot of mistakes or whatever. But you need to understand something. You have that opportunity to live here in my country and you love my Mexican culture. No matter what, you made a lot of mistake speaking in Spanish. Believe me, Mexico or Mexican people trying to understand you. They don't criticize you because they understand that Spanish is not your language. Yes, it's the same in my case when people who speak very clear English try to criticize me. Hey, your English is very bad. I understand. I'm sorry for it. But there are people who they make efforts to understand me. They are kind of people who they are empathic and trying to support you. Yes, Mexican people trying to do it always, no matter what. Spanish is very basic. But when you know Spanish, you have that biggest advantage to involve with Mexican people. And believe me, when the Mexican people know this, that you make an effort in learn my language, Mexican people is very open with you because you respect the culture. The second mistake is constantly comparing Mexico with your country. I understand maybe in your country everything is more easy, everything is very strict, everything is very formal. Yes, maybe my country is not like this. Unfortunately, you need to understand that any country have their own culture. Yes, their own cultures, their own ideology. But you always start to compare my country with your country in negative circumstance, and when you share those kinds of thought at Mexican people, you start to create this bad scenario for the people starting hate you. Yes, because always compare. No, because in my country this is more easy, here in Mexico it's very complicated, whatever. You need to understand that I told you in the beginning, if you desire to live in a new country, if you apply for residency here in my country because your intention is involved in my country, you need to understand that we have this culture. Yes, is our cultures always we brought it in our root. Yes, for our family, for our ancestors, whatever. Yes, and unfortunately we can change it. There are people or there are Mexican people who they are more formal, they are more respect, and they are more educated than another Mexican people. But you need to respect him. Don't try to compare. You will disappoint at yourself for always trying to compare Mexico with your country. Because remember, in your country maybe it's possible, okay, but if you start living here in Mexico, you embrace this Mexican culture. And the last one mistake is thinking anything goes in Mexico. Guys, try to avoid this mistake. Why? Because if you come to Mexico with this idea that in Mexico everything is possible without respect the rule, first you fall in a false context. Yes, I know in Mexico not always apply legally certain circumstances. Yes, but not because always happens means that everything is possible. No, more because first you come to Mexico to respect the rules. Yes, for example, in this scenario, you are a resident, you have obligation. What is your obligation? Notifies to INM that you move to other state, Mexican state, another city, you have another address, and you need to notify at INM your new address. Okay? That is an obligation for you. Another point here. Avoid those kinds of people who always say, no, you don't need to do it, you don't need to register, you are able to run a business without pay taxes, and you are able to run a business without register in the commercial national register or whatever. Okay, you know those kinds of people who they don't respect the rules. Believe me, avoid it. Why? Because maybe right now they don't suffer the consequences, but one day they will. Believe me, they will. Mexico have this circumstance, then soon or later they have the consequence, because it's the Mexican system law that happens. But trying to avoid those kinds of people who think like this, or trying to avoid things like this. Okay, it's my advice as a Mexican, trying to use it, trying to avoid it. That's it in this video. I hope everything that I share with you right now is very useful for you. Don't forget to subscribe in this channel, thumbs up the bell, and before to go, I'm gonna recommend it with you this video, because in this video I explain with you how works this category job offer. Thank you so much for watching. Nos vemos en la próxima.